Greetings, fellow Earthlings. It's Mr. J coming at you. We're going to do a little extra credit math, and today we are going to talk a little bit about adding and subtracting integers. We have some rules when we add integers. Actually, there's 3 of them that we need to keep in mind, okay? The first rule is the same sign rule. You'll notice in the example that I have right here that I have 8 plus 12. We can see that those are both positive integers, and that means that my answer is going to be positive as well. So, same symbols means the same symbol in our answer as well. 8 plus 12 is 30. There you go. But let's take a look here. We have -6 plus -4. We both are using negative symbols. So, to keep it simple, just add 6 plus 4. Pretty sure you remember that equals 10. And then whatever the symbol is. If it's a negative symbol, well, it has to be negative in our answer as well. These aren't negative, neither should our answer be. These are both negative, so our answer should be negative as well. Same sign, rule number 1. Let's take a look at the second rule. This is called the different signs rule. Well, sometimes we have to add integers that have different signs. For example, I've got 5 plus -8 equals -3. How did I get that? Well, there's 2 ways we could look at this. Number 1, you could look on an underline or a number line, start at 5 and go backward 8 spaces because it's -8. That would take you to -3. However, there's an easier way to do it. Take your number with the lower absolute value. This has an absolute value of 5. This has an absolute value of 8. Subtract 5 from 8. What does that give you? It gives you 3, doesn't it? Yes, 8 minus 5 is 3. Now, you take the symbol of the number that has the greatest absolute value. Okay, this is worth 8. So we're going to borrow this symbol and we're putting it in here. -3 is your answer. Well, let's look at it like this. -11 plus 13 equals 2. How did you get that? Well, again, you could look on a number line, start at -11, and go the other way 13 spaces. That would eventually take you to 2. Otherwise, take the number with the highest absolute value. Which one is that? Yep, 13. And subtract the number with the lower absolute value. Which one? Yes, this would be worth 11. 13, take away 11, equals 2. All right, well, let's look at this number. Do you see a negative symbol? This is the number that has the highest absolute value. There's no negative symbol, so that means there shouldn't be a negative symbol here as well. So actually, when we're adding numbers with different signs, we're actually subtracting. It's kind of confusing, but just keep the different signs rule in mind. Probably want to write that one down so you don't forget. Then we've got the opposites rule. This is the easiest one, okay? Basically, what we're saying is we've got +7 plus -7. These are both numbers that are opposite of one another on a number line. Anytime we add the exact same numbers as opposites, we are always going to get an answer as 0. Let's try a couple of examples. So if we look at this one, which of our 3 rules does this first problem fall under? Yep, okay, we've got same symbols. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these up. 54 plus 28. Let's see. Any answers? Okay. Did you get 82? That's what I got. Oops, sorry. I didn't switch pencil. Now, what symbol do I put? Yes, they both have the same symbol, so my answer needs to have the same symbol as well. All right, let's look at the next one. We've got 38 plus -17. What rule does this fall under? Yes. Different symbols. So, take your number that is the highest absolute value, 38, and take 17 away from it because this has my lower absolute value. And what does that equal? Still waiting. Still waiting. Come on, get your answer. Anybody? Anybody get 18? Oops, I didn't switch. Is 18 your answer? No, that doesn't sound right. How about 21? Exactly. I just wanted to see if I could get you on the 18. 21. All right. So We take our number that is the highest absolute value. That's a positive number, so my answer has to be positive as well. Let's look at the last one. I'll let you take a moment. All right, you got it. That is different symbols again. Boy, how do we do something like that? Well, we could start off negative 22 plus 17. Well, these are different symbols, and I know that I could start this end. Or you could start over here where we have a parentheses. You could look at it like 17 plus negative 12. You're going to end up with the same answer. Let's just start at the front. So this has a higher absolute value. So 22 minus 17. That gives us 5. Okay? And I see that this is a negative 22. So that means I have to have negative 5. Well, I haven't used that negative 12 yet. And I know that negative 5 plus negative 12. Let's see. They're both same symbols. 5 plus 12 is 17. And I can see they're both negatives. So that has to be negative as well. Well, let's switch gears for a moment. Let's look at the main rule to keep in mind when you subtract integers. Well, you add the opposite. Well, what do I mean by that? First of all, when we were adding integers, we were actually subtracting integers, and now that we're subtracting integers, we're actually adding integers? Yes, I know, it gets a little bit confusing. If you ever get stuck, look at it on a number line, okay? That's going to be your easiest way to go. Sound good? All right, so right here we have 4 minus 10. Not 4 minus negative 10, it just says 4 minus 10. All right, so I need to use the opposite of 10. What's the opposite of 10? Yes, you guessed it, negative 10. So we're going to add the opposite. 4 plus negative 10 equals. Oh, I can do this. We just learned this in the previous lesson. These are different symbols. So I'm going to subtract 4 from 10. That gives me 6. And I'm going to take the number that has the highest absolute value, that's here, and I'm going to add my negative symbol to my answer. There you go. Feel free to replay that one if you want to. Now we have 7 minus negative 5. Okay, well we have to add the opposite of that one. What would be the opposite of negative 5? You guessed it, 5. So it's like we're saying 7 plus 5. That equals 12. Again, if you got confused about why I got 5, you have to look right here. You have to add the opposite. What is the opposite of this number? 5. So I'm going to change this and add it, and I'm going to add the opposite number. I hope that helps. Let's try the last one. Negative 2 minus negative 9. What do? You add the opposite. Thank you. So let's change this. Negative 2, my opposite of 9, negative 9 is 9. Well, I know how to do this now. I've got different symbols. So here is my number of the highest absolute value. That's 9. And I'm taking 2 away from it. 9 minus 2 gives you 7. Now, how do I know if I have to put that negative symbol or not? This number has the highest absolute value. This has an absolute value of 9. This has an absolute value of 2. But I can't use this. It's lower. So my answer is just 7. Take some time to try these problems, okay? Give these a shot. These are going to be your add the opposites rule. You're going to need to do all 3 of these. And then I'd like you to try these problems too, all right? Give it a shot, and we'll talk about it in class tomorrow. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions. This is Mr. J checking out.